Dear Rinpoches, dear Sangha and friends, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our overseas friends too. I'm deeply honored to welcome you to the very birthplace of 84,000, which is the Deer Park Institute. On this very special occasion of the eve of Saga Dawa Düchen, this is a day when Buddhists worldwide celebrate the profound moments of the Buddha's birth, awakening, and parinirvana. We're sincerely humbled and appreciative that everyone has come together ready to join us in resounding the words of the Buddha, adding a touch of gold to our collective experience. Today's resounding text is called the Gold Sūtra. In this sutra, Venerable Ananda asks the Buddha about the mind of awakening, and the Buddha compares it to gold because gold is pure. The Buddha says that just as gold can take different forms, the mind of awakening can manifest in various unique ways, yet its nature remains unchanged. Before we begin the resounding, I would like to take just a moment today to update you on our progress. Since we started 84,000, we have translated about 56% of the Kangyur collection, and we are continuing to move forward towards our 2035 goal of completing the Kangyur. We could not be where we are today without your generous support. And this year, we especially want to encourage supporters to consider monthly or recurring donations because their impact is doubled by generous matching funds that are available. We also recently launched a new planned giving stream, which offers several ways to make 84,000 part of your legacy and provide an endless source of support. Please feel free to talk with me or Ush or any of our 84,000 team about any of these ways to support us. And also, for those who are present, you might have noticed that we have those cards of wisdom available also at the 84,000 table. Please come and join us in the game and learn more, understand more about that. No matter what form it takes, your generous donations and dedicated support are very much appreciated and beneficial. And donations are the primary vehicle for continuing our work of bringing the Buddha's words to life to awaken humanity. So thank you everyone for your ongoing support. And now on to the resounding. In the next 5 minutes, as we read aloud and reflect on the Buddha's teachings today, let's appreciate the good fortune of encountering these profound words and being a part of making them accessible. Please continue to resound the sutra loudly, again and again at your own pace until the end of 5 minutes. Take a moment to ground ourselves in gratitude after the resounding as we reflect on these words that sow the seeds of enlightenment, not only within ourselves, but also to all sentient beings. So with that, I will invite and request Rinpoche to lead the resounding and to give us a teaching on the sutra. Thank you.
Okay, so just spontaneous ideas. We are going to ask her to play the flute, and then I will recite once, since it's a short sutra, and then we will all together chant. Recite. Is that okay? Yeah. There's always a spontaneous ideas, and Praveen always likes it, right?
should I cue you to stop? Or you do it yourself? Okay. You press on this.
Serjindo Jagarketu Arya Suwana Sutra Mahayana Mama Sutra Ketu Pava Serjindo Shijo Tebachimindo Sanjedang Chanjusamba Tamjana Chatsala Tiketa Vikava Tujina Jamden Jabu Jaji Sam Game Sejinji Gunga Rawana Shukte Tese Jamden Sedandana Gunga Tikeche Soto Jamdende Chanjuchi Sem Jidar Tavarchi Jamdende Chikatsapa Sedang Damba Gungo Chanjuchi Sem Serdang Ranjin Tavar Nebar Tavarchi Ser Ranjin Number Tapatar Chanjuchi Sem Ranjin Number Tapar Naso Garve Serla Zoi Chita Tatebar Chiacham Ser Ranjin Minjuatar Chanjuchi Sem Yende Chabar Natsoparnaya Tandar Chanjuchi Sem Mayope Ranjin Minju Bichiro Tegan Julendi Tsitsuji de Katsapa Chanjuchi Sem Number Tadan Shinji Tanatun Meme Mawani Dukum Sherab Chiv Julame Jamden Teke Chikatsapa Sedan Damba Gunga Wadam Tamjedan Dembe Kwajada Hadam Midam Hamayindam Rizalji Bijitin Yiram Jamden Sungadam Bakta Pava Serjindo Shijo Tebachimindo Jokso Together the Gold Sūtra, Suvarna Sutra, homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in the park of Ananta Vidika. Blessed One, how should the mind of awakening be viewed? The Blessed One replied, Venerable Ananda, the mind of awakening should be viewed as being in nature like gold. This gold is pure by nature, so the mind of awakening is pure by nature. Just as a smith shapes gold into multiplicity of forms, yet the nature of gold does not change. Although the mind of awakening may appear untimely, this never will in the mind of awakening. Therefore, its nature does not change. Then the Blessed One proclaimed the following verse: the mind of awakening is pure. Strive for the benefit of self and other. Meditate on this. Be intent on what caused the birth of wisdom. The Blessed One spoke thus. So I speak, okay? I think as always, I want to tell you that Sutra, the words of the Buddha, is just extremely difficult to explain by defiled beings like myself, because it just has so many angles. This sutra can be read, and I'm sure you will get some gist of this sutra, what it is meant by awakening mind, gold, metaphor, and so on and so forth. But you can read it many times, and each time if you read it with some attention and some sort of a seeking mind, searching mind, you will, and especially this very sincere longing for the truth kind of mind and or the motivation. Each words will have a different meaning. I'm going to just speak what is happening in my mind today as I read this. When I read this today, I'm reading it as Buddha explaining that mind is by nature awakened. I don't know, I should not be maybe using the past tense. Maybe the present tense is the right. I'm using the past tense because many times, which is not really wrong, many times the tendency is that we can and we should develop awakening mind. It is something to be constructed. It is something that can be achieved, and it is something that we should, therefore phrases, statement like practicing bodhicitta. When you hear the word like practicing the bodhicitta, there's this connotation, generating this awakening mind. But as this sutra clearly says, the mind is by nature awakening or awakened, like the goldsmiths can be doing whatever they want to do, they can, and whatever they think they should do, but nature of the gold is gold. It doesn't need polishing, casting, making it, I don't know, agreeable for us. All this does not compromise the awakening nature of the mind itself. I think this should be taken as such an important message, or something to be noticed, especially in this day and age. We have so much condemnation of ourselves. We have so much like insecurity. You know, just the very fact that we are trying to always enhance, improve, advance ourselves through information, through medication, through all kinds of training. It just means that we are not comfortable with the mind that we have. And yes, and because we are not seeing the true nature of this mind, we are slowly losing the grip of this awakened mind. And as we lose the grip, or as we lose our trust to this fundamentally, inherently pure gold-like mind, we just more and more we begin to become suspicious and get bombarded with hope and fear, and all the emotions, and more hope and fear, more dualistic mind completely covers this fully awakened mind that we have, that we don't have to do anything. And like a prince who has wandered from the palace and got lost in the crowd and completely, lost and not finding way back home, and more fear, more anxiety then leads this prince leading more, entangled into more anxiety, more fear. And days, months, years went by, and then after a while, the prince even began to forget that the prince, he is entitled for the kingdom, that he is the, the legitimate, he's entitled, his legitimate heir of the throne or the kingdom. And that's how we lose our way, direction. So here when I'm reading two things. I'm reading a nature of the mind that is already intact, like a gold. Gold, it doesn't matter how it looks before or after casting and purifying. The fact that it is gold just hasn't changed. Now this knowledge, as I was saying earlier, is so important for today. So Changchup Semi number da Jenji Tana Zun Neme Ngoni Dukum Sharab Jevi Jula Me. The verse this awakened mind or the bodhicitta mind is primordially pure. It doesn't have to be fabricated. It doesn't have to be altered. So that's one. When I read, this is one, one aspect of this verse, important one. Classically, we would call it ultimate bodhicitta, the ultimate aspect of this awakened mind. Yet, since we are like this lost prince, we will need to long for this, something that you already have, something that has never departed from you, even for a few moments, something that has never sort of degenerated, something that is always intact. But because we ourselves have lost from this, now we need to long for this thing that we haven't lost. We have to long for this you don't need to actually long for. And this is how I'm reading when Buddha said, generate this longing or the wishing, be intent on what causes the birth of wisdom, longing, devotion, and together, while you long for this, always accompany this longing with a wisdom of knowing that all the things in the relative world, the dualistic world, try to meditate on the insubstantial essence. I'm understanding it as try to get used to or try to become familiar with the fact that all the dualistic phenomena or the dualistic distinctions that we experience, like happiness, unhappiness, gain, loss, references, all this are insubstantial. They are there, at the same time they are not there. Get used to this. Be familiar with this, even on the intellectual level. And this is beneficial for oneself, for the bodhisattva, and this is also the beneficial for others. And this act of benefiting oneself and others is what the bodhisattva should strive for. So strive for the benefit of self and others. And as always, the audience, when the Buddha taught this, which we many times take for granted, but something that I think it would be interesting for you to make note of. The audience, the students, the listeners, the entire retinue, the gods, the humans, asuras, gandharvas, and they all rejoiced. And this is always so fascinating for me because I don't know what is the definition of mind for a Gandharvas? What is the definition of mind for asuras? I don't think it is how we, the human beings, will define. But no matter how these, like gods, human, asuras, Gandharvas, how they define, fact that it is an awakened nature is exactly the same. So it is also the aim of these audience, the gods, the humans, the asuras and Gandharvas, it is their aim to actualize this innate, primordially pure, gold-like awakened mind that we have. Did you say you want me to answer questions? No? Online questions or something? Yeah? So who is going to read the online questions? Okay.
Rinpoche, most of the questions are from yesterday.
Oh, it's got nothing to do with the Gold Sutra?
No, not now.
Okay, well, maybe we should stick with the Gold Sutra if there is.
So, not yet. So maybe we can wait for another half an hour and
Okay.
the questions will come.
Meanwhile, shall we read one more time? And then, okay, let's read one more time. Please, you read according to your pace or how you want to read. Okay, then maybe some performance and last thing. I think it's better.
Saga? How disconnect?
No? No need. 하다는 가봤어요. 자르다리야. 그 산지 참 쉽습니다. 좀 되죠. 대세. 세상에 뭐 자주 씁니다. 가면 쓸어서 대내 좀 된 되지 특수적으로 자주 쓰는 거. 왜냐면 원이도 좀 된 되지 되게 탐제단 되는 거 보니까 하다니다 보면 좀 된 되지 순간은 부터 대세 좀 들어서 하는 좀 자주 있으면 집에서 나서 자주 씁니다. 좀 된 되지 되게 탐제단 디스를 집이지도 순간 봐봐 쓰지도 시죠 대바진도 봐봐진도 대바진도 맞아요. 그래서 봐봐서지도 대바진도 시야점 집이지는 좀 되는데 지 순발랑은 또 봐봐 쓰지도 시죠 대바진도 적소. Okay. So I will answer some questions regarding this, if there is, regarding the Gold Sūtra. I will treat this as a discussion of the Dharma in the holy sort of special occasion.
So the sutra is discussing the nature of mind as gold on a sutra level, tantra level, and dzogchen level. How does the approach to realizing the nature of mind differ?
It's a very big question. Big difference, lot of differences, but at the same time, all aiming for one. That's all I can say for now. You can give somebody a mango You can give this person mango inside a bag, or you can give the person without the bag, just straight. You can even give it peeling the skin off and give. I think something like that.
This one, number 4.
Thank you, Rinpoche. My question is about the simile pure gold. Apart from other, why pure gold?
Oh, actually, it just happened to be one of the sutra that 84,000 chose to read. I guess partly it's short. Not all the sutras are this short, by the way. Some of the sutras are like 900 pages. It's really long. You know, this is we are celebrating, and as part of the celebration, we like to kind of complete reading the whole sutra, and one page sutra sounds right. There's so many, and so many example of this awakening mind. Gold is one. There's also other examples. Sky is a very big one, and then there is a jewel. I think jewel wrapped in a rag. That comes in the sutra quite a lot. One of my favorite is reflection of the Indra on the very polished lapis lazuli floor. You know, there are times, you know, after all, the original discussions were held in India. So I know phenomena such as Indra doesn't really resonate with Greeks or Czechs or, I don't know, Australians, but Indra was, no, actually the Greeks would understand this. I think Zeus is an Indra, actually. Zeus? Anyway, Indra, reflection of the Indra on the very polished lapis lazuli floor. I like it very much. Supposedly somebody just walked by near this lapis lazuli floor, and Indra, who is in the heaven, just happened to have his reflection without the Indra even intending. And the guy, this poor guy who's walking, who just passed by the lapis lazuli floor, saw the magnificent, handsome, this God of God, the King of God, surrounded by all the luxury and the ornaments, and he was so attracted. And he was curious and wanting to know more who this is. And there's the whole thing about how Indra never had an intention to reflect himself on the ground, I mean the floor, the reflection of the Indra, of course, obviously doesn't have any intention of attracting this passerby, but all that happened anyway. And that's how the awakened mind works. Brilliant. These are so important, I think, messages now, because I think we are more and more alienated, more and more becoming, what do you call it? Identity crisis. That's it. That's what I was trying to find, the word. Yes, identity crisis. Because identity is so important, right? Identity is so important. Gender identity, culture, race, color, religion, nationality, so important. And this identity is very much tested now because of, internet, globalization, and freedom of information. So I think in the age where identity crisis is so prevailing, at the same time, we put so much effort in trying to create fake identity. Hearing this kind of, knowing this, that you have the gold-like awakened mind. And by the way, when we talk about this pure gold-like mind, we are not even, it's not like we have to be acquired somewhere. You just have it. Whatever you have is it. It's not like you need to get it from somewhere. I'm emphasizing this because there is also a path and the method of cultivating the bodhicitta mind. Sometimes this kind of phrase can make you forget that there is an innate gold-like awakened mind with you. Okay? Finish?
Thank you, Rinpoche. These beautiful sentences are really please go into it. Be intent on what causes the birth of wisdom. Please.
You want to know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I tried to explain this earlier. Even though you already see this is so in one way I'm saying you already have it, but on the other hand I'm saying you should long for it. So the paradoxy, because even though if you have it, already have it, like the prince, if you have forgotten and if you have sort of forgotten, not only forgotten, actually many times we also don't, there is also tendency of not liking this awakened mind, because the awakened mind, especially if you are so comfortable, well, ironically the word comfortable, but you are so used to a certain zone, you are so used to the box, even the part of you long to go out of the box, but because you are so comfortable with this box, which actually it gives you so much problem, but you don't know otherwise. So there is a tendency of also, I guess, love-hate relationship with this God-like mind. Part of you, and that actually for the fortunate ones, they have some kind of a longing, but also mistrust. because it's also nothing like what's in the box. So the last sentence is like, generate this longing. And there, the relative bodhicitta, such as may all be enlightened, I will do so and so in order to awaken all sentient beings, so on and so. Okay, I think you have? Okay.
If it has always been pure gold, how did the first thought of ignorance come about?
Very good. From the point of view of, from the stance or the position of it is always pure, there is no such thing. I'm now switching to Longchenpa, you know. What do you mean by first ignorance? That is my answer. On the stance, on the position of pure gold, what ignorance? So what I'm saying actually, and this may be a little tricky for some of the people to understand, what I'm saying is, this exists in some of the Mahayana sutras also. I mean, forget the higher whatever teachings. Even in the Mahayana sutras, even to think that you have ignorance is an ignorance. Yes. Remember the timelessness. In the position of pure gold, there is no time. So this question is good question, by the way. It's a really good question, and it is one of the classic question that has been asked again and again. It's a really thought through question. Okay. We will do our normal sadhana thing. We will finish this event, but I think before we finish this event, actually we will finish it with some, songs. Is that okay? So, what are you most prepared? Carmen? Up to you. Maybe the tree shade. Yeah. Because I think, Buddhists loves trees. And there's so many trees, the shade of trees, right? Yeah, please. But
Yes.
but
It's on?
can you do Carmen tomorrow or something?
Yes, tomorrow.
And if you have somebody who can sing with you, can you do the
The duet?
yeah, anyway, you do
I-
the tree shade, I should say. What is it?
It's Ombra Mai Fu, yes. It's a song about how much somebody loves lying under a tree and how nice the shadow is. Okay, what shall I do?